Before undertaking any work demonstrated in our videos, please check out the disclaimer on our website. Where possible, we've also included a link to the disclaimer in the video description.
In this video, we're going to be running you through a basic lower leg service. This video is a bit longer than some of our others, so we've broken it down into chapters for you. Just as a side note, this process can vary a little bit depending on your fork, so we've made sure to cover the general points needed across as many models as possible. If you're really stuck, get in touch. Tools for this job are spanners for your foot nuts. Forks tend to be 10 and 15mm sockets, though sometimes two 10mm, and RockShox are often just a 5mm Allen key. Side cutters, a padded out and blunt flat-headed screwdriver, a seal press is useful, brake cleaner, TF lower lube and a syringe, slick grease and a brush. A shock pump can be somewhat useful for airballs. So we're doing lower leg servicing today. The first thing you're going to need to do is remove the foot nuts off the bottom of the legs, but before getting to them, get rid of any other adjusters like this little rebound one here. Okay, so we're undoing the foot nuts. Don't take them all the way off though, you're going to have to bash them down to release the lowers, so leave it so there's a few threads on still. They might seem a bit sticky sometimes because the crush washers are doing their job. Once you've undone them, pop that on the end like that and just release the nut. Then you can remove the foot nuts fully, and it's just a case of sliding the lowers off. You may drop the crush washers, but it's no issues, you've got to replace those anyway. If the crush washers are a bit sticky, sometimes you might need to snip them off with your cutters. Just put a little slit in them and they'll come off easily. Remember to be careful of any suspension fluid in your lowers, this is not a job for the living room. You're not going to need to worry about the rest of the fork here as it's just the lower leg, so you can pop that lot carefully to one side as you're doing the seals and cleaning the rest. Place your nuts, washers and adjusters to one side too. Inspect your lowers and make sure there are no cracks anywhere or anything that might cause you any issues. Now we use a screwdriver, padded out like this so it doesn't damage the fork. You get a lot of people trying to jimmy the seals out and damaging them. The best way though is to pop the screwdriver just under the seal. Remember it is a filed off screwdriver so there's no sharp ends inside. And just pop the seals out. Easy as that. So we need to give the legs a good clean. We're quite lucky here at the workshop as we have a decent bath to do it in. If you're at home, you may need to get some bike wash and a good brush. You're just trying to remove any debris that may either get sucked up into air chambers or scratch the stanchions. Clean the brace out, get a pipe cleaner on the legs, basically just be thorough but not too rough as you don't want to go damaging anything inside. The next thing we do is dry them out really thoroughly. Make sure we've got all the nastiness out of the lowers. A good clean rag on a stick like this is a good way to get in there. Once we've done all that, it's just a case of refitting the seals. So let's grab some ammo and get those in there. Now you get a lot of people soaking the foams and then putting them in. The only problem is you're getting a lot of oil around the seals when you do that, so if you have any pressure building up inside, it'll pop the seal out a lot easier. We find it best to do it like this. First just put the foam in, then push the seal in on top. When you're popping these on, it's best to remove your wiper spring to save damaging it. Really this process is easier if you have a seal press. We tend to squirt a bit of brake cleaner on there which helps get it in a little easier. As you can see with that bit of brake cleaner, the seal goes in nicely. Just a small tap to make sure it's home, and repeat that again on the other side. Once you've done that and you've got both seals in there, replace the springs. Just inspect to make sure they're sat as they should be, not raised up on one side or anything. Now, using our lower lube mix, you can get your hands on it from our website, we coat the foam seals using a syringe, just making sure they are nice and soaked. It keeps the legs nice and lubricated then. Once you put in your lower lube, you need to grease your seals. Now we use an RSP slick grease, really slippery. We're just putting that in the recess of the seal. So, forks back in the stand, get your fresh crush washers and make sure everything's clean. You've got no muck on the stanchions or anything. Sometimes when you're fitting the lowers you may find it beneficial to remove these springs off the wiper seals and slide them on first. Some seals you'll find a bit tighter so may fold as you're trying to get them on. If you can, try and locate the bottom of the seal like that and slide them on. When you've got them on, always check you haven't folded the lip of the seal. Wipe off any excess grease, refit your wiper springs if you've put them on separately. So the first thing you're going to need to do now is put the lower lube in. This can vary between fork and model of fork. Some open forks will require damping oil as opposed to lower lube. With these ones though, it is just lower lube that we're using. Angle your fork slightly back in the stand to stop it all pouring back out, and using your syringe, just insert the correct amount of fluid that you need in each leg. Now relocate the two lowers to get the fork on. Fit your new crush washers and replace your foot nuts. Just remember, these got to be tight but not robo tight, so don't do it up so tight you're either going to break the spring shaft, damper shaft or crack the nut, just enough to crush the crush washer in and get them doing their job. Then replace any dials on the bottom you removed, careful not to over tighten these little pinch spots or you'll never get them out, and that's a lower leg surface. Now we just check the fork for function, make sure that we're happy with how it all is. Perfect.